we are kicking things off with some massive news, shaking up the NFL landscape. The San Francisco 49ers have made a huge strategic move concerning their offensive line. With the 2-year extension announced for All-Pro left tackle Trent Williams, the team cannot afford to waste a first-round pick on an offensive tackle who won't be there long-term. We break down exactly what this means for the 49ers draft strategy and who they absolutely should or shouldn't be targeting.
Here's a simple way to protect your phone without stress. This Allen 3-pack comes with tempered glass screen protectors, camera lens protectors, and an installation frame for an easier, cleaner fit. It's clear, case-friendly, and built to help guard against scratches and everyday bumps. Check the link in the comments to get it on Amazon.
Next up, we shift focus to the wider landscape of free agency and potential trades involving the Washington Commanders. We dive into the situation surrounding wide receiver Brandon Aiyuk and the significant calls coming in regarding his potential move to the Commanders. We explore why GM John Lynch has essentially acknowledged the reality of the situation and what the implications are for the Commanders' draft capital. Now we turn our attention to the Niners' draft class and the uncertainty surrounding several players who are in real trouble heading into next season. We look closely at 3 specific players from the 2025 draft class, including linebacker Nick Martin and wide receiver Jordan Watkins, and examine why they might struggle to secure playing time in San Francisco. And finally, we head to Seattle, where a division rival could have stolen a major running back. We examine the intriguing situation with Notre Dame running back Jadarian Price and the flurry of trades that made the San Francisco 49ers a potential suitor. Stay with us as we unpack all the details on this high-stakes draft drama. The San Francisco 49ers are facing a crucial drafting dilemma, with analysts suggesting they should avoid selecting an offensive tackle in the first 2 rounds of the upcoming NFL draft. This strategic shift is directly influenced by the recent 2-year extension secured by All-Pro left tackle Trent Williams, which solidifies his role for the foreseeable future. Experts argue that wasting a top pick on a tackle who will not play for 2 years is an unacceptable risk. The only viable exception to this rule is if a selected player can effectively transition to left guard and provide depth later on. Caleb Lamu and Max Ihinacher are specifically cited as players who should not be options. Instead, the recommendation is to target edge rushers and wide receivers with the first 2 picks, unless a truly premier player unexpectedly falls at a different position. The core philosophy for the team should be win now, meaning first and second round selections must be contributors ready to impact the team immediately. To maintain competitiveness against rivals like the Los Angeles Rams and Seattle Seahawks, the focus should be on adding depth and speed to the receiving core, alongside securing a speed rusher to complement Nick Bosa on passing downs. For those seeking a tackle prospect, the advice is to look further down the draft, with Jude Bowery from Boston College in the 4th round being presented as a low-investment, high-ceiling option. Furthermore, team management appears to be operating with a first-round grading on approximately 20 players, suggesting they might be selecting second-round talent early. The consensus is clear. The 49ers need immediate impact from their initial picks, while acknowledging that Williams remains the top left tackle option, providing a necessary safety net for the future. The Washington Commanders are actively pursuing new player acquisitions as they navigate the free agency landscape, focusing on filling roster gaps beyond the upcoming 2026 NFL Draft. A key target for the team is a wide receiver capable of alleviating pressure on established player Terry McLaurin. While mock drafts have suggested the Commanders might target Ohio State wide receiver Carnell Tate with the number 7 overall pick, there is also speculation about potential defensive acquisitions, such as Sonny Styles. The wide receiver situation has drawn significant attention, particularly concerning San Francisco 49ers wide receiver Brandon Aiyuk, who is currently on the trading block. Reports indicate that Aiyuk may have played his final snap with the 49ers, positioning the Commanders as a prime destination. The appeal of Aiyuk lies not only in providing an outlet for quarterback Jaden Daniels, but also in the existing familiarity. as Aiyuk was a former teammate and close friend of Daniels from their time at Arizona State, which could facilitate a smoother transition. However, the Commanders face significant financial hurdles. The team is reportedly lacking in draft capital, making a fifth-round pick difficult to part with. San Francisco GM John Lynch has reportedly acknowledged the difficulty in finding a trade partner willing to absorb Aiyuk's contract. For a trade to materialize, the 49ers would need to be willing to accept a sixth-round pick for Aiyuk, potentially coupled with a conditional 2027 pick. Despite this possibility, the Commanders would be constrained by their limited draft assets. Furthermore, the immediate impact of Aiyuk on the offense is considered limited, as he has not seen significant playing time following a 2024 injury. It will require time and consistent performance for the team to view him as a legitimate threat. Post-draft maneuvers will present a different set of challenges for the Commanders. San Francisco 49ers fans are facing scrutiny following the team's recent draft and offseason moves, with 3 players from the 2025 draft class facing potential playing time challenges heading into the next season. The focus is on Nick Martin, Jadon Duggar, and wide receiver Jordan Watkins. Linebacker Nick Martin, selected in the 3rd round of the previous draft out of Oklahoma State, struggled to secure significant playing time in his rookie campaign. He appeared in only 7 games, accumulating just 11 combined tackles, primarily serving on special teams. A concussion prematurely ended his season, signaling a lack of immediate defensive depth at the linebacker position. While the 49ers opted not to draft a traditional linebacker this year, Jadon Duggar presents an interesting hybrid option for the defense. However, the return of Dre Greenlaw complicates matters, potentially limiting opportunities for other linebackers, suggesting Martin could be sidelined in year 2. Wide receiver Jordan Watkins, drafted in the 4th round out of Ole Miss, also faced early season setbacks, missing time due to injury and playing in only 4 games with limited production, recording 2 catches on 3 targets for 26 yards. With the team signing Mike Evans and Christian Kirk, and drafting Dejon Stribling, Watkins faces a competitive landscape. With Evans, Ricky Pearsall, and Kirk positioned as the top 3 receivers, Watkins, Jacob Cowing, and Stribling must compete for the remaining spots. While injuries offer a chance, Watkins will need to significantly differentiate himself in training camp and the preseason to become a viable factor. On the defensive line, the team has solidified its interior presence with Osa Odighizuwa and Alfred Collins following a trade for Dallas Cowboys' Osa Odighizuwa. C.J. West remains a factor, but after the drafting of defensive tackle Grayson Halton in the 4th round, West will need to elevate his performance to match Halton's level to secure playing time. These 3 players will be under the microscope. Their performance next season will be critical, as they must prove their worth to counter critics arguing that the 49ers have not successfully added talent through the draft recently. The Seattle Seahawks secured Notre Dame running back Jadarian Price at pick number 32 in the 2026 NFL Draft, a move that analysts noted was not the best value for the team. However, the acquisition was driven by a desire to secure Price, while anticipating competition from NFC West rivals. Reports indicate the Seahawks were actively monitoring the landscape surrounding the pick, with ESPN's Brady Henderson noting that the team considered the San Francisco 49ers, alongside other teams involved in first-round trades, as potential suitors for Price. Henderson highlighted a flurry of trades immediately preceding Seattle's selection, including the Tennessee Titans moving up to 31, which created anxiety within the Seahawks draft room regarding the Titans potentially drafting Price ahead of them. There was also concern that the 49ers might target Price with the first pick of the 2nd round, given that the Seahawks division rivals had already selected Indiana running back Kalen Black in round 3. Price, who averaged 6 yards per carry, and amassed 674 yards and 11 touchdowns at Notre Dame last season, was ranked by many analysts as the 2nd-best running back in the 2026 class, as his teammate Jeremiah Love went number 3 overall to the Arizona Cardinals. Despite some reservations about selecting Price in the first round, the Seahawks opted to hold onto the spot to ensure they acquired the player they desired, especially given their status as a trade-back candidate at 32 overall. Following the draft, the focus shifted to Price's development. While some critics felt the team erred on the side of caution during rookie minicamp, Price demonstrated potential, catching several passes out of the backfield and participating in special teams drills, including a kickoff return. With the goal of replacing departed Super Bowl MVP Kenneth Walker III, the Seahawks have a roster depth including Zach Charbonnet, Emmanuel Wilson, Jacardia Wright, Kenny McIntosh, and George Halani. The team faces the challenge of integrating Price, who could be an offensive starter, alongside established backs like Wilson, with potential snap sharing early in the season, particularly as Charbonnet recovers from a knee injury.